Hey Exile, PoE Academy here with the build I'm playing for quite a while now. It's a life stacking assassin sparker. It's really tanky and really good damage, really fast as well. So just wanted to show how that works. The idea is to use Spark of the Nova to have a lot of projectiles going around, and you can see the life pool is really high. It's almost 15k life, and whenever we cast, the life gets sacrificed. We use the sacrifice support gem for that, as well as the rune graft of the witch mark, which add the life we sacrifice as chaos damage to our spell. And with that, we get pretty high damage numbers. And the life, as you can see here, we don't use regeneration. Instead, we use the Eternal Youth Keystone. So energy shield recharge is applied to life instead. That makes it quite handy. And before we get into the details, maybe let's just have a quick showcase of a T16.5 map. You can see I've already obtained a Headhunter, but I will put on a random belt just to fulfill my dexterity requirements to make it a bit more tangible. And let's go.
You are not conquering the Atlas, it is conquering you.
As said, the idea is pretty simple. You stack life, you get a lot of damage actually from life, and that is mainly or mostly due to the sacrifice gem, but also Wrath Pit. So we use the shield that gets you crit damage and also spell damage per maximum life. Sorry, it's this one. It's really good. I think it gives us almost 80% of damage, of our damage in PoB. So absolutely mandatory item. And you can see the clear is pretty good. You run around, nothing hits you really, because for defenses we opt into complete mitigation, because if you get hit, your energy shield recharge gets interrupted, and that means you have to wait. As you can see that. If that's the case, you just run around and wait until your life recovers full. And that's the basic idea. You can see the damage is pretty good. I think the build at its current stage is pretty much optimized. There's a lot of sources and also a cool new Foulborn unique that I've been using to stack up this much life. Let me show you that. So it's the Foulborn Red Dream. You can see passive granting fire resistance. Of all elemental resistance and radius also grant maximum life. And what you can do is you use these life nodes that also already grant fire resistance, but you can also convert the small nodes to have fire resistance as well. So you can see each of those get 4 increased maximum life. I don't know how much that is in total, but it's I think it's like almost 2k life only due to this jewel. There's also other sources of life stacking. I'm using the Apostate body armor that grants maximum life instead of maximum energy shield, and what you do is you just get some energy shield, maximum life hype. Oh, yeah, perfect example of the build. So once you get hit, don't pay attention to what's happening on the screen. You can see that your life is reserved, and that is due to dissolution of flesh. So whenever that happens, you can see it happened now. We don't have enough life. You just have to wait for 2 seconds. You just run around, and what you do is you just wait. You don't get hit in that time, so might be worth walking away from the enemies, and then the reserved life is released again, so you can continue with the build and casting. Also, you have to wait for the recharge to come up again. You need to get used to it a little bit. It's a bit weird in the beginning when you first started out, and once you get used to the playstyle, it's quite nice. Yeah, one thing to say also is maybe that I have a jewel that has corrupted blood cannot be inflicted on you. This is absolutely mandatory, otherwise you will just see your life going down and you will die a lot. If you don't have the money to spend on these, I think the last time I've checked they're like 30C, so it's quite obtainable. However, if you can't afford those, you can always opt into a life flask with the corrupted mod, but that will take up one of your flask slots. So, you know, once you get to a stage where your build is more optimized, just get yourself this jewel. It's also nice because you don't have to pay attention to corrupted blood anymore. Yeah, and you solve a big pain point. Other than that, I said you need to avoid damage entirely, and this is also what the defenses are built around. So the build uses, let's go back. The build uses spell dodge, so we convert spell suppression chance to spell dodge. That mitigates spell damage entirely. And we also use grace. So yeah, we get evasion, so melee hits don't affect us, and on some of the nodes on the tree there's also some evasion rating. I think the character at the moment has like 7,000, so it's not that much actually. If you are on the end game, you might be opting into something like Watcher's Eye with the suppression and the evade chance node, which is really good for defenses. But I've been running these maps for quite a while now already. I don't know, maybe 100 maps or so. Also T17, so no issue. So you can see I've got hit, it's released, and now it's also recharged. So it's really nice. And when you do that, so I think that's it, huh? Yeah. Word of caution, if you do red altars, there's one mod which is you take damage. I think you take 600 damage something per second for any flask. That kind of bricks the build because you have to go out of the zone. And I have all the flasks on when charge reaches full, so they're all automated. That kind of bricks the build. It's really annoying, so just avoid that. Here you can see, going pretty much down in life, but that's no issue. The build. In the beginning you feel very uncomfortable seeing your life go down this much, but actually also on the T17s, because the damage is so insane. And you're hitting targets quite ahead of you because you're always like precasting this, right? So you're running in a direction, you cast, and then you can see the spark is already in front of you. It's not really an issue, so it's really nice build. I would say the overall everything pairs quite or synergizes quite nicely. And yeah, I think I've been dying not that many times actually. It's pretty tanky. You can see I'm level from 94, 80%. I died once because I wasn't paying attention to this tornado. But yeah, it is what it is, right? So pay attention to your screen, guys. Yeah, maybe to recap, the basic idea is you have the life, you sacrifice it to get chaos damage, you use the shield to get crit chance and also spell damage. And since we're assassin, you know, we use this node. It actually gives 100% more critical strike chance against enemies that are not on low life. Low life is 50% of their life, so it's basically doubling your crit chance. And since we have so much excess crit chance, we can use Marilini's fallacy. That gives a lot of crit multi. It's really adding a lot of damage. And, you know, we use Mistwalker again. On crit strike, we're critting so often. We get elusive, makes the build really fast. And also elusive grants 15% chance to avoid all damage from hits. So that's also really nice, you know, again, we're trying to mitigate any incoming damage. And we also have the Shadowed Blood. I don't think the 30% of physical damage taken recoup this life does a whole lot, but the unaffected by damaging elements is really nice again, because again, once we take damage, the life gets reserved. And that doesn't happen except for corrupting blood. I don't know if that's not counted as a damaging element, but again, you use the corrupted blood, cannot be inflicted on you for this. Yeah, defensive wise, I think I've touched a lot of points. Basic idea is you get your base setup, you get your apostate, you get your wrath pit, and you basically stack as much energy shield and flat life as possible to pump up the damage numbers. And it's really nice because you just invest into one stat and it buffs, it buffs your defenses, it buffs your offense. It's really, really nice. Overall, I would say build is really, really good. Oh, sorry, I missed one important thing. So we are also using Unlight Silhouette. That is also adding a lot of chaos damage to our skills. Alright, so it's just another source in addition to the Rune Graft, as well as the Sacrifice Gem. Yep, since we're using Blood Magic, we don't have any mana, so you want to be using Eternal Blessing for Grace, again, just to avoid incoming damage. And as you've seen in the video, the build is it's very fast. It's very good in dense maps. If you have narrow map layouts, it's really, really good because Spark bounces off the walls and hits the target quite often. It's also very tanky. So if you check POB, you can see that the max hit, if you have full life or if you're on full life, is actually quite high. So that's really, really nice. In reality, you will be sitting at like 50, 40, 30% of your life pool. That's also why we're using Pain Attunement, because that just adds a lot of damage whenever you cast, whenever you go below the threshold, as you can see, like so. Yeah, and the build is also really good because we're converting so many mechanics. It's really good for a lot of map mods. ES as live, pretty annoying if you're playing something not in chaos, but doesn't matter for us because we have so much chaos damage. Also, the no life regen or cannot regenerate life is also not affecting us. So there's quite a lot of mods that are actually not affecting the build as such, which is really good. I would say on the con side, it's not really beginner friendly. There's a lot of mechanics that interact with each other. For example, you're also using Sandstorm Visage to use the base crit of your main weapon to apply to your skill. Spark. Spark has a base crit chance of 6%. I'm using a dagger. You can see it's pretty cheap. I think this one was like 2C. Cannot be really much better than that actually, except if you get a wand with projectile damage, but you can see the base crit now is 11.73% on our Spark, and then again with all the spell crit chance that we get, it's you're looking at 100% crit chance all the time basically. The build is a bit staffed on resistances. We're using a lot of unique items that makes it a bit more difficult to cap the resistances. It really helps to have the fire resistance on here because that frees up basically one suffix on your gear, so that's good. And I would say the last point is getting used to the playstyle. So like get an idea of when you have to just run away for a second to free up your reserved life and also to recover your life pool. That takes a little bit to get used to, and also kind of testing your boundaries, let's say. But yeah, you get used to that really quickly, and also the build it's quite tanky. Even though even if you're only on half life, the build still has 7.5k life, right? It's a lot, and you have a lot of mitigation, so you don't really get one shot or anything that often. It's more that fast hitting things like the tornado that can get you in trouble, but haven't been done that often. So yeah, I think that's it for the build. It's a really nice one. I really enjoyed playing it. I don't think I take these many builds this far, but at this point I think it's almost done. If you want to check out the POV, that's linked in the description. Yeah, again, play this build. It's really nice, super fast, super tanky, super enjoyable. And yeah, with that out of the way, see you in the next one.